So on this channel, I talk a lot about my accomplishments and my goals. So it comes across as me being quite a driven person. However, I wasn't always like this. So I figured I'd make a video going over how I got to this point. My original intention was to talk about the path I am on now, a brief backstory on my life, and then talk about how I got onto the path I'm now from where I once was. However, that video would be quite long, and I'm trying to keep my video lengths down, so instead, I'll split up the video. This will be the first of 3 videos relating to this topic. This video will go over the current path I'm on now. It will also be a good reference point for newer viewers, since I often say, oh yeah, I do this thing as mentioned in a prior video. So having basically my grind listed in a short video is probably a better reference point. So basically, the path I am on now involves a career in accounting, in which I work as an accountant full-time, whilst studying for my CPA qualification, which is an advanced accounting qualification here in Australia. I have ambitions to strive towards a finance manager role, which is like a step down from financial controller, which in some cases is a step down from CFO, which could possibly be a future goal. However, I think the work required for that role might eat into the rest of my life too much. So for now, we will gun for finance manager, since those are high-paying roles and they're quite similar to my current role. Alongside this, I work part-time at a local supermarket on the weekend. I've had this job since I was 15. I just kept it after university instead of leaving. Between both of these jobs, I am currently on around $111,000 per year. And if I receive another pay raise from my accounting job, like what was mentioned in prior meetings, this will bump up my total pay from both jobs to around $122,500 per year, if that pay raise is enacted. This weekend job is also a fun, borderline social event for me. I enjoy the work, much the same with my office role. I currently have a schedule that gets me in the gym 4 nights per week. This isn't always the case, of course. Sometimes life happens, but on a standard normal week with no interruptions, I am in the gym 4 nights a week. I also have a well-researched diet plan that I follow pretty much religiously. The only time I deviate away from this is if I have a social dinner, in which I'll eat that instead of my usual dinner. Other than that, I always have these foods every day. I'll have free extra snacks from either of my jobs, which is honestly where my calorie surplus comes from, since this base diet doesn't have enough calories for me to sufficiently bulk. But as long as I have this base diet, I can have whatever else I want. I also get laser hair removal on my neck, torso and pelvic region. Instead of shaving all over twice per week, I can just shave once every 6 weeks. Hair grows back so much slower, and when it does, it's much less thick. It also only grows in small patches. There's a lot of hairless spots on my body now. I also get Botox, as in anti-wrinkle treatment on my forehead, since, for some reason, my forehead creases particularly badly if I don't have this. It's great, so good for your confidence. No one guesses I'm 27, everyone thinks I'm in my early 20s. So these 2 procedures are quite costly, but worth it for me. It's a balancing act of all these stats in the game of life. I'd prefer to have a better appearance over having several thousand extra dollars. I also listen to finance/stock market related information, mostly on YouTube, for several hours each day. Whether that be when I'm in the shower, eating food, driving to work, working, on my tea/lunch break, a lot of the time where I can have something playing on my phone, I'll listen to stock market related information. I also have my own plot of land that I will get a house built on whenever it's ready. This influences a good chunk of my savings/investment related actions. And I also have a brand I'm working on in my spare time, which is what you're watching/listening to now. The focus is mostly on YouTube, since that suits my style better. Imagine trying to make TikToks about my week in the life, lol. But the idea is to eventually spread across other social media platforms too. So all of this is fun to me, but there is an end goal in mind. It's a means to an end. Eventually, I will finish my CPA studies, which may net me a pay raise at my current job, But it's also an insurance policy in case I lose this current job. I will be more desirable in the job market. Plus, finance manager roles prefer/require your CPA/CA qualification. May as well get this done earlier in life. The second job on the weekend not only earns me extra money so I can actually afford a down payment on a house here in Australia, but it also gets me extra serviceability on the loan for my house. Meaning, I can get a larger loan, which means I can actually afford the house/land. Since without the second job, the bank may not be willing to give me as big of a loan as I need. Even so, I may actually stick with the second job for longer than I initially thought, since it's fun anyway, and the extra 30k per year is a good chunk of extra cash. As for gym, eventually I'll reach a plateau in my physique. The natural bodybuilding crowd argues against there ever being a plateau in your physique, just drastically diminishing returns, which I agree with, but they say that because they have the objective to keep growing and growing. Eventually, I'll be at a point where my physique is plenty good enough. Now, I did say when I was like 16 to 17 that if I had the body I had in 2017/2018, I would have been more than satisfied. As in, like, my goal when I started lifting was a goal physique that was actually like less than my 2017-2018 physique. So by then I had surpassed my original goal. But you get there and you're like, nah, let's get more. But body dysmorphia aside, back in 2017, yes, I was super ripped, and I had decent muscle development, but it wasn't close to the more aesthetic fitness influences. Eventually, I'll have built up enough muscle to rival them, and then I just need to do one final large cut, and then my physique will rival theirs. Will it be just as good? Maybe, probably not, but unlike them, my income and livelihood doesn't revolve around my appearance. So of course I'm not going to look as good, but I'll still look plenty good enough. I'll still gym of course, since I enjoy it, but I could probably get away with slightly less time in the gym, so I can work on other aspects of life. And I also have the intention of making money off my body. Not by OnlyFans, since that's harmful to my career, and plus, I'm half Asian. The penises, while tiny, are very efficient.
The penises, while tiny, are extremely efficient.
But I'll make money off my body the same way fitness influencers do. Fitness sponsorships from clothing brands, supplements, workout plans, etc. Now, yes, I did say there are reasons I don't take certain supplements before, but I'd use some if they were for free. And who knows, maybe in time I'll start using pre-workout and creatine again in the future. Maybe I will work from home a few days, and I'll be on a cut, so I'll just duck out to the nearby gym during work hours and get a session, and I'll need pre-workout since I won't have much food in my stomach, and since this is around early morning, the caffeine won't impact my sleep. Case in point, I do have an end goal in mind for my physique, and an intention to make money off it. The investor/stock market thing is a nice quick way of making money. You can spot opportunities in the market and make a good quick buck with a swing trade. Eventually, I'll know enough about the market to know where a good opportunity lies. I kinda do now, but I can learn much more. And I used an example in my 2023 summary video, but eventually it's possible to literally live off a few trades per year. If I have a $100,000 safety net I earned from years and years of work, and I'm able to make a 50% return on some trades in a few days, I can basically pay my entire yearly bills with those trades. I can talk more about the practicality of this another time, but it is an option once you're good enough and you've worked long enough to have $100,000 spare in the first place. As for real estate, it's a 388 square meter block of land in an up-and-coming suburb in my local region, close to the nearby city, close to a shopping complex, close to university, not too far from a few beaches. Great area. The house can also fit a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-lounge, 2-car garage, and an alfresco, which is about the best you can ask for as a single male under the age of 30 in this economy. The land isn't huge, of course, but you can't really get much bigger in the estate I'm buying in. Like, there's no 600 square meter blocks of land available. For the developers, it's more profitable to release smaller plots of land, that way you get more overall sales. You're better off selling 3 blocks of land for $300,000 each than 2 blocks of land for $400,000 each. So yeah, it's not huge, but it's honestly one of the biggest sizes you can get in my region. So obviously, this is pretty good if I don't say so myself. The extra land size compared to the other alternatives, as well as having 3 spare bedrooms, means this house is a great asset. The larger land increases the equity I get from owning the land/house, and the 3 spare rooms means I get extra rental payments. If I had a smaller block of land, not only is this less equity, but it means only 2 spare rooms to rent, maybe even 1 spare room only. And given how Australia's housing market is only headed up, this is by far and away the best investment I have, aside from my educational qualifications, since without those, I wouldn't be on the income required to save up for this, nor would I be able to qualify for the loan required to cover the rest of the land/house payment. Eventually, I will buy a second property, hopefully a third, and we'll see from there. I might run into serviceability issues, but I'll do more homework on that when I cross that bridge. As for the brand, not only is it a fun hobby, but it's also another income stream. Well, potentially another income stream anyway. I have no intentions of becoming a full-time influencer, but having a well-known brand name can get you sponsors and ad revenue. Extra money I wouldn't otherwise have from working my finance manager or my supermarket job. Pretty sure I get $0 from any ads or sponsors from working in accounting or the supermarket. So that's briefly the path I'm on and the future ambitions/goals in mind. As you can see, I've aimed for the stars. If I miss, maybe I'll land on the moon. The difference between most other yappers and myself is I've already put in a lot of work in this direction, and I've already seen some results showing through. I don't mean to take stray shots at people talking about their goals, but come on, we all know that one guy who talks about what he's going to do in the future, but has shown no historical precedence that indicates he could ever achieve those goals, let alone the fact they have no plans to get there, no clear set out stepping stones. If your goal is to earn $200,000 per year, you can't be making $10,000 per year now, with no goals, plans, steps in place, and expect your job to randomly give you an extra $190,000 per year next week. You need to have a plan in place, and actually put in the time and effort to get there. A poor plan executed now is better than a brilliant plan executed never. You do need to put in the work, but why not have a brilliant plan executed today? Anyway, that's it for this one. In the next video, I'll go over a brief backstory on my life. As you'll see, I had no handouts. For the most part, I am totally self-made, but I'll elaborate on that next time. Thanks for watching. That is all.